It's a dangerous time of the year, the holidays, and I always like to remind people that just because we're approaching the holiday season, it's going to be Halloween soon, and then Thanksgiving, and then Christmas. We are not in a mode where our year is over with. And for a long time, when I was still working my W 2 job, and even maybe shortly thereafter, before I really started to understand business and really started to understand like development and the power of getting ahead. I had been conditioned for the majority of my life that, New Year's resolutions were a thing. Like that was the way to go. Like January 1st, I'm going to start anew. And I don't necessarily, I'm not against resolutions. Like I think that they're a good thing if you stick with them. What I don't subscribe to is the idea that I'm going to wait 3 months before I decide to change my life. And the holidays are always a dangerous time because, well, it's the holiday season. I'm just going to kind of coast. Most of the year is already over with. I'm probably not going to hit my goals, or maybe I've already hit my goals. And I'm content with that. And you use it as an excuse to coast, to take off, to take time off. And I'm not saying talking about vacation, but just kind of like go through the motions, right? Like not really be fully present in your work or even in your personal life, or even if you're, the gym memberships. I don't know the data. I really don't. But people have workout goals January the 1st. And now, at least what I think now is, why the fuck are we waiting until January the 1st to decide that we want a better life? Because you might not be around on January the 1st. And I'm going to tie this example in with a conversation that I had with somebody recently who basically, I had two conversations. One of them was an actual direct message conversation, an Instagram DM conversation, was a follow up. And I was checking in with this person. I would say, "Hey, you ready to roll, man? You ready to start your online business?" And the response was, "I'll be ready to go January the 1st, January the 2nd." I said, "Look, don't take offense to this, please." And I really do need to stop saying that because I can't control how people react to stuff. And it's like, we're going to have the same exact conversation 3 months from now. Like it's going to be something different. There's this thought process that a lot of people have, and I had it as well. It's like, if this, then that. So if I get past this thing, or once I get this thing behind me, then I'll be in a position to where I'm able to start my business or improve my life or take on this project that I've always wanted to take on, or take this trip that I've always wanted to go on. As soon as things slow down for me, well, guess who has control over all that shit? You do. You can control your life slowing down. You can control the if this, like if this, once this situation resolves itself. They're usually situations like, once this gets behind me. And I promise you, and I told this particular person, as I said, we're going to have the same conversation. It will be something different. It won't be this. It may not be this, but it'll be something different. And that'll be what you're holding on to as a reason to not start. In my philosophy, my belief is that life is life. Tomorrow's not guaranteed. January 1st is certainly not guaranteed. What the fuck are you waiting for? Like, just change your life. You either want to or you don't. And this particular person, when I said that to them, didn't react, and I didn't expect them to react. I just said, "Hey, I'll follow up with you in 3 months and we'll have the same conversation, question mark," because I know it to be true, because I hear this stuff all the time. The other discussion I had, which I hear this quite often, and I just really want to kind of tie this point together of how we approach our lives, how we approach our progress is, so I'm this age and I only have $150,000 saved up for retirement. And I stopped for a minute. I thought about it, and I immediately compared to what I had at a relatively similar age. I was younger when I left my 9 to 5, but I looked at what I had. And I said, well, first of all, it doesn't make any difference me comparing it, right? Everybody's different. And I just said, and As in, so what? Like, what's your point? He's like, well, I'm nervous because I don't think that's going to be enough. And I just kept asking questions like, enough for what? Well, to retire, to live comfortably. Like, what are you going to do in retirement? And he didn't have an answer for any of this stuff. And I said, when are you retiring? He's like, oh, probably 65. I said, well, you're not 65. Are you retiring tomorrow? And there was so much energy, and he was so upset with himself for the current situation. And I don't think he was even really living in the current situation. He was actually feeling guilty about 0 to his age, right? Let's just say hypothetically it was 45. He wasn't, but he was feeling guilty about 0 to 45, or whatever his working career was, 25 to 45, that he was only at this point of $150,000 in retirement. He's thinking, he's letting the future dictate how he feels about himself right now, which is not guaranteed. Hey, I only have this now. I can't retire. Well, you're not fucking retiring right now. You still have 20 years to get to where you want to go in terms of retirement. I said, and I guarantee you, I promise you, you will feel differently about it when you get older. You won't think what you're thinking now. And it's just this, we're conditioned to go through this exercise, which is just awful. I mean, it really is so stressful that we have to have a certain dollar amount in our retirement account. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to live, and we're not going to be able to be happy, and we're not going to be able to pay for stuff in healthcare. And I said to him, I'm like, how much do you want? He said, $2 million. I'm like, you could make $2 million in 1 year if you get out of your own way and start doing the right type of work right now, whether that's starting your own business or getting into a different field. Like, you can make your retirement in 1 year. And you certainly don't have to continue to rely upon other people to make sure that your retirement is good, because that's exactly what you're doing, working for somebody else, putting your stuff into funds that you don't have a lot of control over. Now, is that a bad idea? I don't think it is. I don't think investing in the stock market is a bad idea, but when you're hanging your entire future on that, that's a problem. That's a problem. Invest in you and the skills that are required to make the $2 million. And this individual just didn't really get it. And I didn't expect him to get it. But we're caught in this trap of living in the future, right? Like judging ourselves for what we have or have not accomplished up to this point in our lives, our current situation. And then we're looking at the future. And we just disregard what's right in front of us, which is, what do I have to do today to make my life better? What do I have to do today to make more money? What do I have to do today to get in better shape, like better health? What do I have to do today to have better relationships with my family, with my spouse, with my partner, with my children, with my siblings, or the people that I love the most? And quit spending all of this energy on what happened up to this point in your life, which you can't undo. You'll never be able to undo it. And give that person a break, all right? Because just because you lived a certain way for 30, 40, 50 years does not automatically mean that you will live that way for the next 20, 30, or 40 years of your life. You have the power to change it all. But you have to understand that what you've done or what you haven't done does not define you. It's what you do next.